Congratulations, you've survived another medieval year. That's no small feat. You've made it through months of back-breaking labor, unpredictable weather, and the constant threat of disaster lurking just beyond the village walls. No plague swept through your home, no armies marched through your fields, and no one pointed a trembling finger at you, whispering about witchcraft. But don't relax just yet. Winter is here, and it's not the cozy, cocoa-sipping season you know. There are no twinkling lights or holiday feasts to look forward to, just the long, relentless cold. It's cold, it's damp, and your only real goal is simple. Don't die before the thaw. Every breath you take is a visible puff in the icy air, a reminder that warmth is a luxury. Forget central heating, electric blankets, or supermarkets stocked with comfort food. None of that exists here. Your boiler is a smoky fire in a one-room hut, and if it goes out, you might freeze before morning. The fire is your lifeline, and keeping it burning is a daily struggle. The sun vanishes for days, sometimes weeks, and the world outside shrinks to the damp, drafty walls of your home. Your social life, it's a battle for the warmest spot by the fire, huddled together with family and neighbors, sharing body heat and stories to pass the endless nights. Medieval winter isn't festive, it's a test of endurance, a season that demands every ounce of your strength and willpower. Snow isn't pretty, it's a trap. It blocks your doors, buries your paths, and makes every trip outside a dangerous gamble. Your survival depends on how much wood you chopped in autumn and whether you rationed it wisely. Every log is precious, every ember a small victory. And then there's food. If your salted pork is still edible, if your stores of grain and beans haven't run out or spoiled, you might just make it. Every meal is a reminder of careful planning, or a warning of hunger to come. This isn't about enjoying winter, it's about enduring it, making it through the cold, dark months with just enough life left to sigh in relief when the first green shoots of spring appear. So as we dive into the misery of medieval winter, remember, our ancestors weren't dreaming of a white Christmas or singing carols by candlelight. They were just hoping to see another one. Survival was the only gift they wished for. Let's see how they did it, how ordinary people faced the harshest season and found ways to endure. Scene transition music. In medieval winter, wealth wasn't gold, it was food and firewood. Your fortune was measured in barrels of salted fish, piles of wood, and sacks of grain. Every autumn was a frantic race to gather, pickle, and store anything edible or burnable. Your home became a warehouse. Onions hanging from rafters, root vegetables in the corner, and the air thick with wood smoke. If you didn't prepare enough, starvation was a real threat, and your neighbors might be eyeing your woodpile. The true treasure, a well-stocked pantry and enough fuel to last until spring. Winter fashion in the Middle Ages. Forget about layers or comfort. Your entire wardrobe boiled down to one itchy wool tunic. This single garment was your shirt, your coat, and your pajamas, all rolled into one scratchy, uncomfortable package. Day and night, it rarely left your body. Most peasants owned just this one layer. If you were especially fortunate, you might have a thin linen undertunic to wear beneath it, but that was a rare luxury. For your feet, footwear was little more than thin, flimsy leather, if you had shoes at all. Many simply went barefoot, even in the snow. Hygiene was almost impossible. Washing your clothes or your body in the freezing winter was a rare event, often avoided for weeks or even months. The result? Everyone stank, peasants and lords alike. The cold didn't discriminate, and neither did the smell. Your tunic trapped a bit of precious warmth and shielded you from the worst of the wind, but it was always filthy, uncomfortable, and crawling with lice. Still, it was your only real defense against the biting cold, so you clung to it, shivering through the long winter nights. In the harsh medieval winter, survival always came first. Style, comfort, and cleanliness were distant dreams. Staying alive was the only thing that mattered. Welcome to the medieval kitchen, where hope goes to die. Meals were endless pottage oats or barley boiled with whatever root vegetables survived storage. Bread was dense and dark, meat a rare luxury, and salted fish so tough it needed soaking for days. Hunger was constant, and food supplies had to be rationed with care. As winter dragged on, everything spoiled. Grain sprouted, meat molded, vegetables rotted. If food ran out, people ate bark, boiled leather, or worse. Malnutrition and disease were rampant. Eating wasn't about pleasure, it was about staying alive until spring. As the days slowly lengthened and the sun began to return, a fragile sense of hope crept back into the hearts of villagers, but with it came a familiar gnawing hunger that was impossible to ignore. The promise of spring was bittersweet, for it meant both the end of winter's grip and the beginning of a new struggle for survival. Late winter was known as the starving time, a period when food supplies had dwindled to almost nothing and illness preyed on the weak and vulnerable. Families searched desperately for scraps, and every meal was a reminder of how little remained. Yet, life could not pause. Chores continued in the biting cold, feeding the last of the animals, mending worn-out tools by flickering candlelight, and fetching water by breaking through thick layers of ice. Every task was harder, every movement slower, as exhaustion set in. The psychological toll was immense, months spent trapped in darkness, with only boredom, fear, and uncertainty for company. The walls seemed to close in, and hope was a fragile thing, easily lost. When spring finally arrived, the relief was profound and almost overwhelming. The first rays of warm sunlight felt like a blessing, and the sight of green fields brought cautious smiles to tired faces. Survival itself was the only reward. There were no feasts or grand celebrations, just the simple joy of sharing a crust of bread and knowing you had made it through another winter. There was no time to rest. The privilege of survival meant returning immediately to the hard work of the land, sowing seeds in muddy earth, repairing what winter had broken, and preparing for the next cycle of hardship. Medieval winter wasn't a season to enjoy or remember fondly. It was a relentless adversary, a test of endurance that left its mark on every soul. It was an enemy to outlast, a force to be survived rather than embraced. Each villager knew that only the strongest, most determined would see the spring. If you made it through, you'd earned the right to begin the struggle all over again next year, armed with nothing but resilience, hope, and the memory of having survived.